Hi everyone, it's really good to be here again, and it is such a beautiful day in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you can get outside, then go outside for a little bit. Two very quick announcements before I begin with the message. One is I'm going to be doing these videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And uploading them at around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The other thing is that I'm going to be doing a Zoom meeting on Saturday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you would like to be there, go to my website, which is louisemcfeetrsmith.com, and I will write that in the description or in the comments below the YouTube site where I post this video. So for anybody that does not know what I do is translate information that I get from a larger energy. And with that said, I'm going to begin now. Right now, we are talking about the situation in the world and how you can best adjust to the changing energy in the world. First of all, it would be helpful to understand that energy changes in the world all the time. There are ups and downs and peaks and different currents of energy that are constantly coming in through your energetic field, which you call the earth, and through everybody that is here. So this in many ways is no different from a lot of other things that happen throughout your life. It just happens to be more global, and to some extent there is more strength in it. And that's why it's a good idea for you to be even more aware of how you're dealing with and working with and adjusting to this energy at this time. Having said that, everything is perfect. Things are going as they should be going. And it's going to be a lot of fun for you if you can allow that in. A good thing to focus on right now is the changes that you are being impelled to make. And we talked a little bit about this on the last video. There are things that people have been putting off. Most people have been putting off energy that has come into your life in the last 5 years that has not been acted upon for many people in many different areas. And this is a good time to go with the flow and to change your holding back from that energy, because it's now more intense and stronger the longer that you try to hold on to what was your old ways of doing things, your old beliefs, your old actions, patterns, and behaviors, to all of those things, the harder it's going to be for you emotionally to stay in those places. So for many of you, it will feel as if you're being pushed to change. And we want you to know that that push is coming from you, because that is a call that you have sent out over a period of time before this point in time. And so any pushing that you're feeling is pushing from you, and it will take you to a better place in your life if you can listen to it and if you can move with it. The best analogy here is that of a stream. And Louise went whitewater rafting with one of her girlfriends many years ago. And during that trip, her girlfriend fell out of the raft. And before they went rafting, what they told people was that if you fall out the raft, put your feet downwards down the stream and float down the stream. That's the safest and the best thing for you to do, because that current is very strong and it's going to take you downstream. You have to go with it. If you stop to cling on to the rocks, what is going to happen is you're just going to cling there and your energy is going to get drained, but nothing good is going to come out of that. And on this whitewater trip, when Louise's girlfriend fell out, what happened was she clung to the rock. She was clinging to the rock, and somebody took a photo of that moment. And in the photo, this person looked absolutely terrified. And the white water was going all around her. And it was very, very clear that she wasn't going anywhere. And that action would not help her. So that picture in our mind is a picture that may help you emotionally understand what it is you are doing if you're trying to hold on to old behaviors that you felt were serving you beforehand. But you should now be in a better place to realize that they may not be serving you. So what are we talking about here? We're talking a lot about things like people being in jobs that they don't want to be in, or people being in the conditions in jobs, certain conditions that they don't want to be in, and also things like relationships, different types of relationships, friendships and romantic relationships and family relationships especially. People being in positions that they don't like being in and they don't know how to get out of or move out of, and they have beliefs especially that make them feel as though change isn't possible. So this happens all the time in life, is people build up those beliefs, and it appears safer to stay in the old way of doing things. But this energy that is coming in is speeding up your own desire for change and is supposed to be helping you move forward. So just understanding maybe things, the way you were doing them, are not always the best, and getting to that place where you understand that things can be different for you. A lot of the reasons we cling to old beliefs is, one, fear of change, but two, people get in a space where they don't really believe that things can change or will change. And so opening up a space in your energy and in your heart for that possibility will allow more of that possibility into your life and will allow your beliefs to develop and grow and change, so that what it is that you want can start coming in your life, into your life, and you can start letting go of the old things that you were holding on to. This is an incredibly good time for people to be thinking about their job situations and moving around in that. That's going to happen anyway, but if you're proactive with it, you can start creating things that you want. And you can go with that flow and move even faster to what you want with less pain. Relationships, as we said, especially family relationships, are going to be changing now. And of course, with the way the world is responding, in many ways it's beneficial for this. Not seeing people, not being around the people that you used to be around, and not being in the same energetic patterns as you used to be with them is going to give you a huge amount of space that has been needed for many people for a long time, to give them time to separate from those old patterns and sit down and think about, what do I really want? And that is one thing we really want to encourage you to do, is take this time to sit down and think about those things. Think about those relationships, those working conditions, those friendships, and re-examine them from this new perspective that you have been given, this new opportunity that you have been given, and decide, make a conscious decision what it is that you want and how things could possibly change. And then talk to the universe, talk to source, talk to that larger power, and ask them to show you what could come into your life and the ways that it can come into your life. And do not try to figure that out mentally, because you humans are not smart enough to understand the potential and the possibilities, the vast amount of potential and possibilities, and the vast ways that energy can move in the world. So we cannot fathom the different ways that what we want could come to us. There are so many possibilities. And for so many people, your beliefs are blocking out what could possibly come to you. So instead of sitting down and planning how this is going to change, you can approach it in a different way this time. You can ask the universe for what you want, and then ask it to show you the ways to get to the place that you want to be. Don't try to plan that out yourself. And what you will find, if you're willing to do that, is those opportunities and those changes coming into your life. If you're doing it now, probably quite suddenly, not in a bad way, but in a surprising way. Coming into your life, those opportunities coming into your life in ways that you didn't expect them to come into your life, and you being given chances to move forward with that. That's what all of this is about. This is also a great time to strengthen your connection with Source and to look for whatever ways you can find to develop that thread and develop that unending connection that always exists, to open up that connection, and to realize how it always has been there, and to learn to rely on it a little more. I know those words of trust and faith and relying on things are difficult for some people to hear, because we are so used to working through the mind to create things. And while the mind is an incredible force, what it does is it really helps you focus and change the direction of your focus. The mind is great for moving your focus to different things and determining where you look and when you look at different things. It is not really a creative source in itself, meaning that it cannot go out there in the world and create opportunities for you. The mind is very localized. It's localized in your body, and it's localized in the sense that what really it does the best is direct attention. So use your mind to make decisions about where you want to put your attention. That's a great job for the mind. Most of us have given over creative powers to the mind, as in we feel that the mind has the capability to see all the opportunities and energy out there and decide how things can happen. And the mind is not good at doing that because it's, like we said, it's very localized. It can only really appreciate and see out from where you are in the moment. Whereas your connection with Source is not localized. It is something that everyone has constantly, and that will never ever go away. And at any point in any day, you have a choice of how to connect with that part of yourself, because that's where you came from. It's where you're going back to. It's where part of you lies all the time. So that is a different type of connection and a different type of creative, that is really your real creative capacity, is that connection. And you are in partnership with Source constantly. And Source is more than happy to help you create whatever you want. And Source has the connections to help you create whatever you want throughout your community, throughout your country, throughout your world, and throughout the larger universe and the energetic universe, the vastness of energy. So unless you have a relationship with that Source part of yourself, that larger part of yourself, then you're really limiting yourself in what you can create in the world and what you can receive from Source. Again, because it's so much bigger than what the mind can think of. So that would be the second thing we recommend at this time, is looking at that connection. Meditation helps. Sitting down and connecting with yourself really in any way that is more creative. Painting, writing, going outside in nature, and observing. All of those things that take the focus away from the mental. Exercise. Where exercise is taking you away from your continuous thoughts. That also will give the mind a break and allow your connection with Source to develop. And it's only through trial and error that trust and faith can be developed in that side of yourself. There is no way to prove it to anyone else except to yourself. And talking to and connecting with and working with that part of yourself is going to prove it to you. You will not be able to prove it to anyone else, because nobody knows your internal scape, and nobody knows your internal feelings. So it's a very personal journey, but one that everyone can take. So those are good places to start, and we would love to see you at the Zoom conference if you're inclined to be there. And that is all for now. Thank you everyone for being here.